Salmon is probably one of the best things about Splatoon 3 right now. It's had some quite big upgrades from Splatoon 2, but what I'm going to focus on today are the 3 new night modes they added. Even for Splatoon 2, I couldn't find a tier list for the different night modes of Salmon Run, so we're doing that today, and we're going to throw in the Splatoon 3 modes as well. This is just my opinion after all, but unfortunately it is the correct opinion, so you have to agree with this list. Also, my goal of 500 subs by the end of the year, we absolutely destroyed that. Thank you guys so much for the support on the previous video. I want to shoot for 1,000, but that might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm still going to do it. If you guys want us help, please subscribe. We're going for 1K by the end of the year because look at this. 1% subscribed is unacceptable. All right, let's get into it. Grillers is a great game mode. It requires you and your teammates to position well and be aware of your surroundings. This is one of the few night modes that aren't way easier than a normal wave, which honestly is what I think they should all be. If you have a griller locked on, it's your job to get into a position where your teammates can get the first tentacle, and if you're attacking, you have to be around it but not die. The small fries also add a lot of difficulty to this, and they can begin to pile up very fast if you don't take care of them soon. You pretty much always want to have one person dealing with them, and then the other two trying to kill the griller, and then one person running away. As for weapon weaknesses, this is pretty much exclusive to chargers, which is good since they usually are in rotation. Honestly, this is probably one of the most fun game modes for nighttime. It's difficult, it's rewarding, and overall, it's definitely an S+ tier game mode. Mothership is a pretty underwhelming game mode, not gonna lie. Getting the eggs is quite easy. The difficult part of this mode is trying not to get overwhelmed while trying to shoot the mothership back, which honestly isn't that hard since you probably will only have 2 people doing it since no one pays attention in solo queue. I still don't think I've ever lost a round on this game mode. It's really hard to get overrun, as destroying crates is extremely easy, and the salmonids also spawn quite slowly. Overall, unfortunately this is a boring low stakes mode with not that much to it. B tier. Tornado is one of the 3 new night modes, and it's definitely the most unique, as it's the only mode that counts 2 eggs per 1 out of all the night modes. The actual gameplay also strongly utilizes the new egg throw, so it would be pretty much impossible to do in Splatoon 2. The actual gameplay though is a little bit bland. There aren't enough salmonids spawning to get overrun, and having to throw eggs all the way to the basket gets annoying really quick. I have to give this one a little bit of credit though because of how it uses the new mechanics. Kind of a boring mode, but it's also by far the most unique in the game. A tier. Mudmouse is another, unfortunately, fairly stress-free game mode. It is harder than Tornado though. The new gameplay is definitely more enjoyable than Tornado, but unfortunately even as a new game mode, there are no new gameplay mechanics used. The golden mudmouse are quite a bit harder to deal with than the normal ones, but I feel like they shouldn't have dropped extra eggs from the normal mudmouths, and should have instead dropped the same and just been a sole difficulty increase from normal mudmouths. That would have made it a lot more difficult, and in my opinion, make it more high stakes and make it feel more rewarding when you complete it. Overall, this mode's alright. A tier. Ah yes, Glowflies, the now infamous night mode. I'm not quite sure if they increased the difficulty from Splatoon 2, but Jesus, it feels like it. I feel like the salmonids have much more health than they did in Splatoon 2, and they also move a lot faster. My success rate with this mode is like 25%. If your team is uncoordinated or low skill level, this mode is absolutely terrible. However, if you're playing with friends or skilled players, I actually really enjoy this mode. Bamboo is absolutely unusable in it, but rollers are extremely good because it's a one-shot with every roll. In my opinion, this is what night modes should be. A lot more difficult and provide a challenge, but if you do this mode well, you can get a lot of eggs in as well. Depending on the rotation, this mode can be extremely hard, but it is also quite fun and it puts a lot of stress on you and your team. S tier. Fog is the 3rd new mode, and it's easily the most simple and the most boring. The map is foggy and goalies can spawn, and that's it. This mode really doesn't adjust difficulty at all because while the fog makes it harder, but not by much in the first place, the goalies just cancel that out immediately. This mode really doesn't feel like it needs to be in the game. I think one way to improve it would be to throw in some of the restless salmonids from Glowflies in. That would make it a lot harder. Not all lesser salmonids would spawn as restless, but let's say 25%. That would make this game mode way more exhilarating and not just a, oh, it's fog. C tier. Gushers is quite a good mode. It is absolutely RNG based, meaning you could be in for an extremely easy time or a more difficult one. But even then, this mode still isn't that difficult. The hardest part is just getting all the eggs in the basket, because usually the goldie will spawn a little far from the egg basket. The feeling of finding the goldie is quite nice, and I also love how this mode requires you to actually be aware of the state of the game. Still one of the more relaxed modes, I like this one a lot. S tier. And finally, we saved the best for last, Cohawks. This is an amazing mode. The cannons are probably the most fun addition there is to the entire game. The difficulty is still there of the normal waves, but it doesn't feel like it's nor increased or decreased. Just an alternate mode rather than normal waves. Specifically, one much more fun. It makes it a lot easier to designate roles onto certain players. You'll have 1 or 2 people on cannons, and then 1 or 2 focusing on boss salmonids. It's typical salmon run at heart, with even more exciting gameplay. Also, it doesn't have small fries in it, so that instantly nets at some points. This is an X tier mode. Well, do you guys agree with my picks? Well, I got good news for you, because if you don't, I'm putting the template to this tier list in the description. Feel free to make your own, tag me on Twitter, post a link to it in the comments, anything you feel. Speaking of, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe. Like I said, I want to see if we can hit 1K by the end of the year. I don't know if it's doable, but let's just try. I highly doubt this video will do as well as my last one. That video popped the hell off. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.